Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Colin's Corner, episode number 19, I believe. Welcome in. It's great to have you. How have you enjoyed the first 18 episodes now? It's crazy that it's been 18 episodes. It is approaching half the number of podcasts that I've done in the past 3 years, which is kind of insane to me because the podcast is kind of my small thing. My brainchild, I guess you could call it, and then I'm trying to raise it, and I have feels like I've gotten nowhere. Anyways, we're here. We're in Colin's Corner. We got a lot to talk about. So please do subscribe if you plan on staying in the family in the Colin's Corner community. Ooh, the CCC. Anyways, let's talk about fear. Fear is something that can be used in many ways. Fear can be used for good things. It can be used for bad things. It can be used as a motivator. It can be used as a not a it can be used to hurt you. You can use it against yourself. I don't know the good word for that. It can be used as a deter. It can deter you from your goals. Fear is, I don't know, when people say you're driven by fear, and I'm going off the dome here, when you're driven by fear, you're driven to do good things, you're driven to do bad things. It can influence you in many ways. Fear can. Now, being scared of something and fearing something are two different things, in my opinion. And let me explain them. Again, off the cuff, off the dome. Just spitting here. Being scared of something and being fearful of something. Being fearful of something is something that comes deep inside you. There's a fear. I have a fear of snakes. I fear, for whatever reason, that's some sort of instinct, Being fearful is some sort of deeper thing. But being scared of something is just natural, like, there's bad things happening, and I'm, like, if someone has me at gunpoint, I'm going to be scared. But you don't fear that you being held at gunpoint will happen. Fear is a thing that gets into our heads, and it tells us, and it tries to control our thoughts, it tries to control our actions, right? Fear and being scared are two different things. Again, being scared is just, I'm scared that if this happens, this, or this. But again, fear is something that tries to control you. It's something in your head. It's some sort of human thing, and maybe animals have this too, other than humans. I'm not quite sure, but it's some sort of human thing, something is wired into our brains for fear, right? Now we've talked about what fear is and versus being scared and other things. Now we can talk about what you can do with fear. All right. You can let fear motivate you. You can also let fear deteriorate you, bring you down, control your thoughts, control your actions, control the way that you interact with other people. It's your choice whether or not you want to do one of those two things. Let it control you, let it destroy you, or let it, motivate you to be better and to do better things. So let's which one do we want to look at first? I'll give you an option, one or two. I don't know. One. Fear can motivate you. How can fear motivate you exactly? If you are fearful of something happening, if you fear something, if it is deep in you, I am, and I'm trying not to use the word scared here. People often use them hand in hand because I used that in an example earlier. Fear. I fear something. I fear that, I'm going to be, that someone's after me. I fear dying. I fear this. I fear that. You fear these things. How can you use that to motivate you? Because you are so fearful of that thing. Because you are so fearful of whatever that thing is to you, you can use that fear in some sort of, again, fear is some sort of supernatural thing. In my opinion, it's different than being scared. It's some sort of human instinct, something that's built into us. And I'm trying to see where I'm going here. You, because you are so fearful of that thing, it's almost like rising to the occasion in a way. The stakes are higher in your head, like it's life or death. For you, fear is life or death, right? Someone has you at gunpoint, right? You are there. Someone is holding a gun to your head. If you don't do this, if you don't do that, fear drives us. You always hear those stories of the kid trapped in the car and the mother lifts up the car, or something, something crazy like that. They fear that their son will die. And for some reason, it drives them to do something just otherworldly. They reach deep into whatever they have, and they just grab it, and there you go. Fear can drive you to do better. I fear that I'm not good enough at making content. I fear that I don't have it in me, and that I'm a failure if I don't do this, this, and this. I fear that nobody will like the stuff that I do. Because I fear those things, I let it make me better. I let it wake me up every day, and I either make it or I don't make it. And that's my choice. I fear those things. I'm being honest right now. I do. Those are things that I think about a lot. What if I'm not good enough to do all this? I think about that all the time. Now, I let it drive me to do good things. I let it drive me to make the best stuff possible, to make the best content possible. I'm not sitting here literally thinking right now, what if this video isn't good enough? But it's a thought in the back of my head that, hey, what if what you're doing isn't good enough? And I let that drive me. Now, the other thing that I could let it do, and the other thing that you can let it do in a situation, is you can let that fear control you. You can let that fear overcome you. You can let that fear destroy you and bring you down and let you do terrible things. People are fearful of things. So sometimes I fear I'm not good enough, so I'm not even going to try. So I'm not even going to make an attempt at something. So I'm not even, what? I fear this. I'm not strong enough. So I'm going to give in. Don't give in to the fear. That's what you don't want to do. Because when you fear something so much, it overtakes you, and again, it controls your actions. Now, how exactly does it do that? You are so fearful of something that over time, it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds, and it manifests in these little things, these little situations. You fear something, and so you start to change a little bit. You do this thing, you take the shortcut because you fear that if you don't, then you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, you're not good enough, you're not this, you're not that. It's these little things, right? So if I fear that I'm not making the best stuff possible, I'm not making the best content possible, right? And I'm just using my example right here of me. If I fear that, the little things that I would do is I would slowly not start to make videos. I would kind of drift away from it. When people ask me about it, I wouldn't say much. And you could clearly tell that I was that something was taking me over when I was making a video. I would be kind of going, not, you wouldn't see me going crazy, but you could tell that I wasn't I didn't have it all together. You know what I'm saying? I would maybe just stop altogether, I would just let it just totally bring me down, and just totally, or I would become angry. A lot of people, they're fearful, they just become angry. There's outbursts, they don't know. Yeah. So you can let fear do one of two things. You can let it build you up, and you can let it motivate you as a little voice in the back of your head that, hey, you think you're not good enough? Prove that voice wrong. And that's what I try and do every day when I wake up. Or You can let it control your actions, control your thoughts, control the way you interact with other people, and you can start trying to take advantage of things, and you can start trying to make shortcuts, and you can start trying to do all these things. And then you'll watch yourself just slowly fade away. And that's what fear does. Fear can break you down or it can build you up. And you don't want that. You don't want fear to destroy you. You want to destroy your fear of something. And the way you do that is you get up every single day and you fucking crush it. You absolutely crush it. You wake up, you say, I don't want to do this. Oh, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to do this. I don't want to fucking do it. Crush that fear that you're not good enough. Crush that fear, that voice inside of your head that tells you you can't do it. But don't let that fear get inside your head and control you to the point where you don't do the things, you don't complete your actual goals. Sorry, lights are going out in my room, they're flickering. You don't complete, you don't go after your goals. Instead, you go after something else. You become obsessed with the fear and not obsessed with the goal that the fear is, around. That's what you have to do. That's how you do it. And there's no one handbook or way that I could tell you, but that's a vague, kind of roundabout idea. So, anyways, that's the lesson on fear for today. You can let it control you, or you can, let it motivate you, and that's with a lot of things, And I hope that everything I've said has motivated you so much and you enjoyed so much of what I said that you could maybe just possibly like and subscribe, maybe a little bit, huh? Could you do that, please? I would appreciate it. Anyways, not to sound needy, but I would appreciate it. So, anyways, I will catch you guys on the next Colin'S Corner. Be on the lookout. Mondays and Fridays, Colin'S Corners, every Wednesday. Except probably this Wednesday. We don't have to talk about that. Mondays, Fridays, Colin'S Corner. Wednesdays, podcast, Collective Consciousness Show with Colin Reich. That's my name, and I'll catch you on my next corner.